guys, welcome to another episode of Let's Talk About It, where we talk about topics, some controversial, some real life topics that we see everyday persons talk about and they don't really talk about them, they whisper about them. So, we're not going to be whispering, we're going to be talking. We'll try to get the views from as many persons as possible because today's topic is is college really worth it? When is it worth it? And why is it worth it? So a lot of persons are asking, all right, should I go to college? Is it worth it? You know, when I go to college, will it be worth it? And then some persons are defending that, when I go to college, my college days or my college degree or whatever it is that they gain during their college period is an essential part of who they are now. Now, I have my own views on this, which I will share as we go along. But as usual, the floor is open so persons can join the conversation. We have Martin, who is our resident co-host, and MR, who is my friend, a financial guru, content creator, and La Million Nation. I think that should be Dr. Henry. Dr. Henry, welcome to or Let's Talk About It show. And I want to say shout out to all the persons who are on the outside who's out there listening on just listening on Insta and Twitter without actually signing in. Every week I have a bunch of persons messaging me on WhatsApp that they don't use Twitter but they're listening still. I want to say shout out to you guys just the same, but you guys should get a Twitter account so that you can come and ask your questions. Because as usual, the floor is open. Just hit the request to chat. And once you have hit the request to chat, we'll see the notification and we will allow you to voice your opinion. So discussion, an open discussion, is not something you just sit down and just say, all right, you know what? I think this way and I won't get a chance to talk. This is the time where you get a chance to talk, voice your opinion, and we repost these on YouTube, so you can get to listen to the conversation just in case you missed any of it at all. Hey, what's up, Martin? Martin, are you here?
Good morning, everyone. Yes, I am here. Morning again. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting topic this morning. Looking forward to. If you were able to watch that video I sent to you about similar about this topic as well, Alex. But let's see what they have to offer.
I didn't get that. I did not get a chance to watch it. I was a little bit preoccupied at the time, so honestly, I didn't get a chance to watch it. But I am most definitely gonna watch it afterwards for sure, just to see him. If you had sent it to me last night, I would have watched it. But it's a the tagline is very important. So I like that, and I know for a fact that some persons are adamant that you have to go to college. You went to college, Martin. I did not go to college. So I guess we'll have a very interesting convo on this one. So
of course, you went to college. You were at college for longer than I was, by the way, just so the listeners know.
Who was at college?
You were at college for a longer period than I went to college.
Oh, no. I worked at the college. Worked. I did not attend classes. I worked. Martin, worked.
You went there. That's the topic.
All right. So, Martin, your college experience, was it worth it?
For my degree, I have never used my degree really. I've used parts of my degree in the working world. So it, it, it gave me an edge up, yes. Because really and truly, college just makes employers know that you are trainable. That is it. That is really end all, be all. Before we had institutionalized education, persons would learn a skill or a trade or a job through, we call it mentorship now, but it would be some kind of internship or apprenticeship system, right? And I personally think that is probably the best way to learn. One of our generation's influencers, I hate using her name, but yeah, Kim Kardashian, she's now becoming a lawyer through that same process of apprenticeshiping as a lawyer to getting your law degree in regards to going and spending all this money at institution and getting a law degree and then passing the bar and becoming a lawyer. So I think that college is for those who can afford it or those who are willing to put themselves into debt to become more marketable and or trainable to getting a job that they may not necessarily want but need. So I don't think it's necessary, contrary to what you might think.
Oh, who said I think it is necessary? I didn't. I'm not saying I think it is necessary.
All right.
I think there are certain jobs that require you to go to college. Mm-hmm. And certainly, even though you're using Kim as a reference to the mentorship type of teaching, I still think that because the law is so vast, I would say you definitely need to go to school, even for a short period of time, because there are some things in theory that you have to learn. You have to learn that in a session with someone who will explain certain things to you. Even though you can learn that through one-on-one mentorship, but some of those cases might be biased because, my friend, I can tell you something that may not necessarily be a correct rule. Or, for example, being a doctor.
I don't know if you cut out, but you cut off on my end. I don't know if everyone else is hearing me.
Are you hearing me?
You were hearing you now, yes.
Oh yeah. I was saying there's someone that's here with us now, Kemar, and I know that Kemar is a doctor, and I'm sure that there are some things that he learned in class that you can't learn nowhere else. So there are certain jobs that I would say most definitely would require you to go to college. But for example, I am a graphic designer and I do it better than most of my peers that went to college. So there are certain jobs that have some level of flexibility to it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm glad that you have a doctor on so he can give his part of the but also I want him to answer this for me beforehand.
Wait, is that he's a dentist.
A dentist. All right, even perfect. I'll put it in a dentist analogy. Before schools, if someone was to be a dentist, normally dentist back in the day was your barber. You go to the barber and pull out 2 teeth, move on. But because of how where we are now in society, you get a filling, you clean a cavity, blah, blah, blah. To learn to be a dentist, you would have apprenticeship under someone who was a dentist before you had schools that required you to have certifications and passing whatever they need to pass so that you can be trained or skilled. You would have just apprenticed with a dentist and then go open your own practice after working under this dentist for a while. Back in the day. Way back in the day. I don't want to say how far back, but yeah. Now, you need to have your certification, you need to pass whatever hygiene tests and all of those things. So it's because of the modernized world why we need school, and we need some level of uniformity, for want of a better word, where there's a standard across the board for that all dentists must follow as within their practice, and then go from there. But turn over to your guest speaker.
Hey, good day, everyone.
Morning, Kevin.
So, as it relates to going to college or not going to college in the dental field, I think that there are certain things that you do learn in the classroom that you wouldn't necessarily just get out there without the experience of going to college. But then on the flip side, when you do go out in the working world, right, there are a lot of things that you learned in school that you'd have to unlearn, so to speak, in order to work more effectively and practice effectively in the working world, right? So,
I, I, I agree, because I remember when, Martin, do you remember when the braces phenomenon just came in and person was doing braces on the veranda and in the backyard and in some tents? And 90% of these persons, I am sure, are not nowhere near qualified or licensed more than watch 2 YouTube videos and practice.
Right, of course.
That's doing a lot of damage. That's doing a lot of damage to persons. When persons have severe periodontal disease, they're wondering what's going on. When they see some lesions develop in their oral cavity that would not have developed otherwise had they not put on the braces. And it turns out to be way more expensive because you'd have to fix the problems that you cause, and then if you have any teeth left after that, you'd have to still.
Yeah, I like the term. If you have any teeth left after that.
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
Yeah, so basically it varies, you know. I think going to college as a dentist is worth it, but then in the working world, you have to actually learn how to adapt out there to properly practice.
Right. And I think that is with every job, that the theory versus the actual practical, you do unlearn some of the theory that the theory just gives you a baseline, and it may not be current with technology and current trends within whatever field, if it is that you're even practicing or working in the field that you study.
Yeah, and I don't. It's not just that, you know, Martin. So as a, all right. So my in my era in graphics, I have friends who have gone to college and been through the college system and go through the whole everything, and then they call me and say, "So how you do that?" Or, you know, me see this or that. Or sometimes we sit down and I might be doing something and somebody might say, "So how you do that?" Because they were taught a long way in college. In the real world, to meet your deadlines, you must. I wouldn't say it's a if or a but, you know. I would say it's a must. You must learn the shortcuts in order to survive. If you don't learn the shortcuts, dog na me suffer.
I'll give you a scenario that is similar to what you're saying, just for the layman term. Excel have a bunch of shortcuts, and most persons don't know these shortcuts, right? To create pivot tables, deleting cells en masse, or general things. But in class, in IT, basic IT or office, whatever they did in KC, whichever school you went to, they teach you how to delete a cell, but they don't teach you how to mass delete empty cells. So it's not unless you sit and practice or learn from someone who was proficient in Excel or Microsoft Office Suite that you actually learn these shortcuts. Because to be sitting there and deleting 100 empty cells 1 by 1 or 2 by 2, your work will never done. But your boss can give you an Excel sheet and you know the shortcuts, so you max it out in 2 minutes when he might think you do it in an hour and you have the rest of the time to just chillax. I remember a situation where a boss of mine gave me an Excel. He gave me a spreadsheet on a picture and he wanted me to put that into Excel or create an Excel file of the data replica And I'm like, all right, cool. And he said he gave me, it was like 10 or 15 sheets. He gave me till the end of the week to get it done. And I scanned it and I created the Excel sheet in about 10 or 15 minutes. And I just sat there at work for the next 3 days not doing nothing. And then I emailed him the day before ahead of schedule.
I understand the Martin, and I agree with a lot of what you are saying. Like, I think most of us will have similar views on this, but then there are persons out there that say, listen, you have to go college, you have to go college, and then like a lot of persons right now. So, for example, I was watching an interview the other day with Triple X, the entertainer, who said, yeah man, who said he went to college for 4 years. He went to UE at that expensive UE.
He's a nurse.
UTech.
Yeah, he's a nurse by profession.
All right. So whatever him go college for 4 years,
Yeah.
right? At the expense of one of Jamaica's most expensive colleges. And then you come out to do nothing with that money.
Yes.
Absolutely nothing. And I know of cases like this all the time. Persons even.
Wait, but didn't he say he used to work at Bellevue?
Right. He worked at Bellevue because, again, he's a nurse by profession. So he would have worked there as an intern to get his degree, not to be employed there and or after achieving it.
Oh, okay. I thought it was after, because him say like while he was working there, he was making well enough money. I think that's what he was saying. I don't remember.
So I believe one of the fundamental problem is individuals start college not knowing what they want to do, and they believe that like a degree is like the necessary pathway to success. So back to Alex now. Alex is a graphic designer. Back in 2011, right, I was good at Photoshop, but nobody was there to mentor me and say, hey, this is a good skill. Mm-hmm. So when I go into UTech now, right, start doing my BSc, I realized the degree was padded with so many things that are not relevant. Yeah. So like I could get a degree like the actual skills that are needed in 2 years, but it is padded with other things. So like Alex's friend now, if the other 2 years did include the relevant skills and other training, then maybe they would up to par with Alex, but degree just brush the surface.
Right.
A bunch of theory, not really practical. For example, my role now in my previous role as a database administrator, probably I just really needed 3 courses to function out of the many that I did.
Right.
But the thing is, an employer is not going to take me as a person out from the street who has the skill know what to do without a degree. Mm-hmm. That's the problem there. So even if I get up today and train somebody and show them exactly what I'm doing, how to do it, no employer is going to take them unless they have a link.
Right.
I think. Sorry, Emma, go ahead.
And the next thing I realized is that you might go through college, you get all the A's, but you can't function in the corporate world. Because me and my peers, for example, I get B in a course, they get A. They can't publish a website, but I can. But a person is going to look and say, hey, this person has a honors. What can this honors do? So it still go back to the skill level of the individual. So I would say you don't need a degree to do the work, but you might need a degree to get a job. And the next problem I realize with individual, like I can talk for the IT space. Not a lot of individuals out there are committed to go and learn the graphics design on themselves. They are not committed to go and learn the programming by themselves, but they are committed to paying 4 years and paying a tuition to get the same degree, which they can probably learn all the things in 1 year.
Of course. Because again, in IT, I can program to save my life. I can develop a website. And because again, it's added with a lot of things that you don't want to do. Like I remember having to choose an elective. And I'm like, I don't want the Spanish. I said, what else I can do? Them said I can go over to art school and do dance. And I spent my elective dancing just because again I didn't want another course that I had to sit down and memorize or study the paths.
I think that if you're gonna go to college for 4 years, 2 years worth of that, they should split it up where you're doing internship and training. So every 3 months or so, you have to be interning somewhere, whether it's somewhere new or the same place. But you have to be doing some internship all over the place so you get the real life skills. Because dealing with people in the real world is generally nothing like what you get on paper, you know. On paper is a Disney movie. You expect the customer to come in and say 1, 2, 1 plus 1 equal 2. In real life, when the customer come in, 1 plus 1 equal 5.
And another thing I realized that IT profession, again, I can't speak for the others. Those certifications are more valuable than the actual degree, and they are cheaper than the degree. You learn more practical things in the certifications than the degree. As what I think it was Reggie earlier said, that he had to do elective. In the same information technology degree, we had to be doing environmental studies. What on earth does that have to do with us? Because at the end of the day, people are going to be developing, what do you call it now? What do you call it again? The server rooms, right? Still gonna generate heat. So it's not something that you're gonna run away from. So why waste your money? Pay 30, 40,000 for a 3-credit course to do environmental studies. And another problem, we did like information technology at the CXC level. We have to come back in college again, pay $30,000 to do the same $4,000 IT CXC back then, the same Excel and Word for what? I don't know. So those are some of the problems that I think degree have.
Because it goes back to what I said before, the standardization that the industry requires. You know what I mean? So they want everybody to be at least Microsoft Office proficient, where yes, you may have chosen to do IT at the CXC level, but somebody else coming in from a what do you call them school, Alex? From one of those agricultural schools that IT wasn't offered or such, didn't get IT to do, so they need to catch him up to par, but they're really wasting your time.
But Martin, IT is mandatory in schools. And as MR talks about IT, I'm gonna tell you something. This is gonna seem normally it was mandatory when I was in school. IT was mandatory when I was in high school, and that was that's a number of years ago, almost half my life ago. But the thing is, I used to work in an educational institution, one of the biggest ones in Jamaica. And it is sad to say that there are persons that have their masters who cannot use Microsoft Word properly, or Excel, or basic stuff that takes basic reading to figure out stuff with your email. So I don't know that if it is that when they add these things to your course or whatever it is, because like I said, I didn't go to college. I worked at one, and I didn't go to a college. But when you add these things, do people actually pay attention to these things when they get added to whatever it is? I just say, listen, I want to become, for example, in Kamara's case, let's say Kamara say, listen, I just want to know how to clean teeth, fix teeth, repair teeth. I want to know the teeth thing. So I don't know why they're adding this IT thing as a like a side thing on it. We're not focus on IT. That now have nothing to do with me. My focus on teeth.
Exactly. Even just to reference that guy that used to whiten teeth on Or Plaza there. I he seemed credible, but I don't think he did the 4 years of college. But him have a liking for whitening of teeth. And I asked him a few questions just to see where he was. But You know, his thing was really just to whiten teeth, not whether the teeth clean, not whether the teeth have a cavity, but it's going to be white when you leave in place. You know what I mean? But because that is what his interest was, and he realized that, okay, this can be my niche, this can be what I do, this is how I can make my bread and butter. But he didn't have a degree in dental hygiene.
Summer, go ahead. I see you raising your hand. Chrissy, I see you raising your hand. You can go ahead.
Okay. I was saying I don't think college is worth it. But somebody might is on mute.
Wait, can you? Go ahead.
But it's echoing.
Martin, is that you? Okay. I think that's better.
Yeah. So I was saying that I don't think college. If you just want to be like, if you just want to make money, and if you're only going college just so you can make money or get a quote unquote pay raise, it don't make sense. You can make money doing literally anything. It's just how you market stuff. It's how you do stuff. You don't need a college degree to make money or get a higher salary. It is not necessary. For people like me, I want to become a genetic engineer. I can't like just go to a regular, sit at home and just become a genetic engineer. You have people who can sit at home, and so you have people that can sit at home and create, like, for example, graphic content. You have people who just can learn how to do that without going to college. They can literally learn how to do it. They can learn from the greats. They can be mentored, and they can make money from it. I want to be a genetic engineer. Your mic is on mute again. I want to be a genetic engineer, so that means I'm going to need a proper lab with all the proper necessary equipment. I'm going to need to know the proper procedures. That is necessary. That is something I need to be trained for. It is necessary for skills like that. If me just want to be an entrepreneur, I can start one business. I go learn from the greats. I go do my own research, and you learn to like be an entrepreneur. You learn by practicing, like you learn by actually doing it, being in the field. You not go learn by sitting in a classroom and then present some theories. Because up to now, economists says that Jamaica's economy is good. Like, we have improved significantly. There's a rise in the the employment rate. More people are being employed, but yet still poverty is on the rise. Like, theoretically and practically, it doesn't make sense. Especially as, and what's your name, Emar? As Mr. Murray said, if you don't know what you want to do, college especially don't make sense for you, because it's not worth the money, the time. You could have spent this time trying to know more about yourself, learning about what interests you as a human being, what makes your soul happy. A lot of people go to college and they're depressed. They're highly and deeply depressed because they hate learning what they're learning. For me personally, when I learn biotech, when I learn molecular bio, I'm happy. My soul loves this information. I genuinely love to learn about virology, bacteria. I love to learn about these stuff. I'm happy doing it. I would do it even if I'm not getting paid to do it. So I think just a lot of people just don't know what they want, and they're fed that, go to school, get good grades so you can quote unquote get a good job. But there are a lot of people with their college degree and I'm sitting in a call center beside me. So anyways, that's my view, to be honest.
That's interesting, because I remember a few years ago, I had classmates that went to school with me, the high school, and then they left and they went to college, and then they came out and they were struggling. They must be like, listen, I'll come and work for minimum wage. I just want a job. And I'm like, but you have a degree? What? What do you mean minimum wage? And that would have killed me, I didn't, but that would have killed me to say, I can't believe that you went to college for 4 years, spent how much thousands of dollars, sleepless nights, headaches, even though you might have enjoyed some of the parties and the fun times, but still, there's a whole lot of money that gone down the drain because it is wasted money if you come out and you can't get a job or you're coming out and you're underemployed. Now, to actually answer what you said earlier about the employment rate is up, right? But one of the things that's affecting us now is that inflation is high and cost of living is getting higher. So even though more persons are employed, one of the reasons that it's bad is because everything is going up. So even though persons are making money, it, it's still not enough money to survive. So more persons are working, but it's still not enough money for persons to actually be to live comfortable on. Because remember, not last week before we talked about shopping on minimum wage. I actually went shopping. Let me share that list with you guys of what I actually bought. What quickly. So after I went shopping on that list. I posted the video on YouTube, so you can actually see everything that I actually bought. And if someone is working minimum wage, they could not really, they can't really shop. So I bought 3 pound of mixed parts, one brown hard bread, two tissue, one medium Fosca oats, one Lasco milk, one crackers, 2 pound of flour, one toothpaste, three Brunswick sardine, one small cooking oil, one Castile bath soap, 1 pound of brown sugar, 1 pound of cornmeal, 4 pound of Maggi, no, sorry, 4 Maggi season up, one 2 pound of Alberta brown rice, 6 eggs, curry powder, gold butter, stick butter, 2 stick of butter, a Ada soap, small syrup, and a can of tin vegetable, and that was 3,652 dollars, and that did not include a few other things that I had to get, like some food kinds like onions and some other stuff, which actually brought the bill up to 7,200 and something. And that leaves roughly about $1,800 for the person to travel to work and still pay the rent, pay the bills, whatever it is that they have to do. So in regards to employment being up, that is fine, but persons are not making enough money to actually save or to do anything that's gonna be better for the country in a general sense. You get that? Yeah, you understand that?
I do. I'm saying on paper, you have people on paper who look good, but their character is absolutely disturbing and disgusting. But on paper they look quite good. And that is Jamaica, it kind of look good on paper, and that is the end of it. Jamaica don't make sense. And college definitely don't make sense. And personally, I started college in Jamaica, but on so much levels it don't make sense. So I will say, Martin, your mic is muted again.
Martin, your mic is echoing. Not sure why. Welcome to the new people who are joining. You can request to talk, share your opinion on if college is worth it, when is it worth it, and why is it worth it. All right. So also, in regards to college, because some persons might get the wrong idea and think I'm saying that education is not important, and I know that someone might he listen to this in the future and say, "What mean don't go college? I don't mean not to educate yourself. I just mean that when you go to college to spend a bunch of money on a degree that you won't use, like MR said, you could go and get some certificates. Because right now, at the level that I am at, I could just go down to art and get a level 3 certificate because I am one working in the field and I already have the experience. So I have the experience and I have the know how. I can actually do the practical part of it because I already know what it is. And I think that this is something that should be fully utilized where persons can just get the skill and keep practicing and then you go and get yourself certified in that area. Because who certifies these jocks? Persons who are DJs in Jamaica. There's no certified that I don't think there's any certification for a person who wants to become a DJ, but that is a very powerful skill that benefits the entertainment industry.
I was saying that even for me personally, college doesn't make sense in Jamaica because Scientific Research Council, where would have been one of my main support, and you them not have the proper equipment, like them not have the proper centrifuge, them don't have nothing to mix the onion properly, them don't have nothing. Them do not have nothing. And it's a waste of my time to come here to go to UE and get a bachelor's in biotech or something of that nature. And then when I could have like just went abroad and just done my bachelor's and then and I'm still going to have to like have enough credit. Not a lot of universities abroad or elsewhere because I'm still gonna have to do my master's or PhD into master program. You have like a transition program where you can do you can transition from master's to PhD and you don't have to spend as much time doing your master's to transition. It's like so what I'm saying is that I would always how much years here getting bachelor's figuring up and they won't accept UE credits to get my master's. So personally it doesn't make I'm not seeing something that I can say that it's worth it or makes sense in Jamaica. And why? Because when me done work, then me can get one job. Me have to go sit down in one call center after me invest all this money, expecting that I can live a better quality of life. No, I don't think it's worth it.
Well, while I agree with you, I also disagree in some sense because for what you are doing is a specialist here. It's not like somebody. It's not like an IT job. No disrespect, MR. Not like an IT job, but somebody.
No,
but I
Alex, I
can.
agree. We don't need it.
You don't necessarily need a degree to be an IT specialist. Okay, the person, for those of you who are familiar with crypto, the person who created Ethereum did not go to college. They were gonna go to college and then they got a start. And then they reach college. Mark Zuckerberg drop out of college. So many multi-millionaires and billionaires drop out of college. Not because college isn't a good thing, but it's just a good fit for them. You can if in lots of countries across the world now, kids are teaching themselves to program by watching YouTube. The University College of YouTube teaches all. But I do believe that for regulatory purposes, that person should get certified so you can track what's happening. Because if every person that take up Photoshop say I am a graphic designer, then we are gonna have a problem because it then means that a man can just get Photoshop whether he might go buy it or crack it and just come and say, yo, I'm a graphic designer, yo, me good. Me like what level are you at in graphic designs? So you should have institutions that will say, all right, you know what, let's see what level you're at. So you know the skill, But right now you're only at level 1. You know basic. Get some more experience, come back, come do the test and show us what you know. Then we can put you up to level 2 or level 3 or whatever the highest level is. And in IT, I have a friend who has so many certificates. He has more certificate, is more qualified than somebody that would have a master's in his field.
Easily.
And all he has is an associate and a ton load, one wall full of certificates. Like almost every certificate that you can think about, him, as it come out and him have an opportunity to get it, him get it. So, in my opinion, college isn't necessary for everything.
But I'm gonna put this out there. Why does universities like UA give, the great people like Usain Bolt a doctorate? Why do they do it?
Well, you see, I see when you get an honorary doctorate, it's crazy, because they can revoke that doctorate at any time. Not like a doctorate you actually work for. So because remember what happened with Bill Cosby when he was in his middle of his thing going on. The University of Philadelphia revoked his doctorate. They revoked his honorary doctorate, which I don't think it made any sense because you already gave it to him because apparently what you had to do something to actually get it. Also, I think Beanie also has a doctorate from UA as well, for his contribution to music. And I don't have a problem with that,
No, I don't, But my thing is it that they're just trying to make it like getting a college degree, a master's, a doctorate is like ultimate thing?
No, man, it's not. But in their case, it's not a PhD. It's just a title.
Yeah, man, I know.
It shows us it's a status title, but it's not like a PhD to say, listen, I'm bright, so whatever. So if somebody, you went to college and you get a degree, then you say, I do the masters, and you go and you get a PhD, and you have a real doctorate in IT or whatever it is that you're in, you are more qualified than them, But their contribution to the field may also not exactly be equal to yours even in different fields. Because you have persons, I would say, for example, what Mark Zuckerberg has done to social media, even though he hasn't gone to college, he has done more work than somebody with a doctorate would have done. Whether we like what he's doing or not, he would have put in more work than somebody who already has a doctorate. Because to build a network and manage that, and a network like Facebook now, Meta, and even though I know that he doesn't personally look into all of these things now, but I'm sure he's still up to date with what's happening. That is not an easy feat at all to do. Most persons when they get them doctorate, what them do, them go teach, them go lecture. They give guest speeches and stuff. They start practicing. So I would say if you're continuously practicing and you have that level of what's that word I'm looking for? If you have that level of recognition and you're actively practicing and improving your craft and then you get an honorary doctorate, I would have a problem with it.
No, I don't have any problem with any of them, but I'm just saying, is it that they're making it seem like, even though it's not like the school one, right? They're still making it look like, hey, when you're successful, you need a PhD or a master's. That's just the angle that I'm looking at it from. Is it like a psychological thing for other people?
Well, we're slowly shifting from that, We're slowly shifting from that because remember, right now, persons are making millions of dollars from YouTube. Persons are making millions of dollars from social media overall. being influencers and entertainers. So, my view overall is that college is worth it with an asterisk beside it. It is also not worth it with an asterisk beside it. So, it is worth it sometimes and it is not worth it sometimes.
It's just not worth it in Jamaica. That's it.
I wouldn't say it's not worth it in Jamaica, because from what I know, and my sister-in-law goes to a university overseas, and in terms of having better technology, I give that to the first world countries, US, wherever in the world. However, in terms of in terms of how things are taught and how what you are taught, in a lot of cases, Jamaica is ahead of those countries, from what I have heard. But because I've known persons who have been to both the Jamaican University and overseas makes it way easier, not necessarily better, easier, but not necessarily better.
Define easier but not better.
So easier being the dissemination of the information is easier. So you don't necessarily have to go to class to get information. Here, you have to come and sit down and take your notes or whatever. We're moving to that direction. So that is one way where it's easier. Access to information there is easier than it is here. The access to mentorship and to tutorship is easier there. It's a first world country, so the technology is there. So, for example, a lot of the times, for example, IT, we would learn about data SQL when I was going to school with pen and paper and a projector. In that system, or in their system, you're actually going in, seeing the network, seeing the server room, interacting with it on a one-to-one basis, and then creating your databases from there and manipulating an existing database that they may already have. Where here, you have to get your laptop, make sure your laptop up to date, and then you create your own database and manipulate your own database. So you see, it's a little harder, hence it's better than a pre-made system. So it's literally, instead of, is instant porridge versus making porridge like how your grandmother make it.
Not only that, Martin. So my sister-in-law, again, so I'm using her as a heavy reference. Hope she don't mind me using her as reference in this. Some of the things that she was getting in her second year of college was things that she did in high school. In high school. I don't know, not high. She's in college in the US, by the way. So it's not college in Jamaica. She's in college in the US. And some of the things that she's getting in her second year is things that she was learning in high school in Jamaica, which is why I was saying that there are in the US, even though there are more, and I'm gonna use the US as an example because that's where she is. In the US, they are more advanced with certain things in terms of technology. The information, access to information is better. You can register for college and sleep out the most of college for all you care and go ace the exam. While in Jamaica, if you miss couple class, you're on the lecturer go catch up.
Right. So to add to that, their high school system has something called AP, which is their advanced program. So, for example, if you kind of know what you're going to college to do, let's say you want to be a mathematician or whatever, you would take courses, or a doctor, you take like AP Calculus, which is, again, advanced. It's college level work that you're doing at high school. But if you are not in that applied program or that fast track program, you wouldn't necessarily take those classes, and or there may be classes that you can't take because you may not be aptitude enough to take them, right? So it's not until you actually get to college where you're doing that course Versus here, whether you have the aptitude or not, you have to sit down and then teach a class and do the work.
It's crazy. It's a lot of craziness. But
I still don't think it's worth it in Jamaica. Like, I don't think it's worth it, because even if you decide to, and as in, why? Alright, so if we're supposed to break it down, why do people even go to university in the first place? Like, why do people go to college? You know,
like I said, it depends. It all depends, and it all depends on what you're going for. Because, like Kemar said, there are certain things that the guy who watch a YouTube video to put in braces, he knows how to put in the braces, But I can bet that if he had gone to school and learned the proper technique, then he would probably think different, because putting in braces is one. But based on what Kemar said previously, I think that there is a specific technique that you have to use not to damage the gum and the teeth. So even though you put in braces and it look pretty, it might be causing damage to your teeth and the gum in the future. But if you do it the right way, you avoid that. So there are some things that I think you do need to listen. I don't want a man tell me I need to operate on my heart or my brain or my liver or my lung, whatever, and I come tell me say that him learn off of YouTube. And that's how it work.
that's not worth it in Jamaica. I wouldn't advise anybody to go to college in Jamaica. I wouldn't. I mean, under no circumstances. Like, even if they say, oh, them broke on no money and cancel them way, scholarships are there. I would tell nobody. Like, if they say they want to go to college in Jamaica, I'd immediately tell them not to. Like, what's your advice on this, Summer? No. Don't go to college in Jamaica.
So, I personally would definitely advise them to do it in Jamaica, because one, it's cheaper, and
depending on what you're doing, really. Because we wouldn't have that experience if it was really that cheaper.
So, for example, IT again, I think if you're gonna do a degree, Jamaica is fine. Why pay $40,000 in, say, US when you can do it for $10,000 in Jamaica?
Because you can get scholarships and it's not your money.
You can get
but not everybody can get that scholarship. And two, after you've got your degree in Jamaica, you can move on. You can use a lot of times. You can use that and get.
A lot of time, but not every time. My friend has a comp-sci degree, and
all right. So Martin.
She needs some courses. Like, she had to do, like, she was required to do some Google courses, Microsoft courses. What other courses is she doing?
All right. So I'm gonna use an example. My mentor and a friend, Martin, our from the office. He went to Excelsior, right?
RW speaking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
No. DW.
Okay.
Yeah, went to Excelsior, right? Because members a doctor now, and he started at Excelsior. So he started his education in Jamaica, and while I don't think he got any scholarships, he's now a doctor, because everything that he got here, I think he moved on to somewhere else. But I think he did his master's here as well before he went ahead and got his doctorate overseas. And I am sure that it is way cheaper. I know the degree and the masters don't even matter now. You have a doctorate from an international university. So in some sense, I would say it is worth it, if you have a long-term plan. And you're saying that scholarships, yeah, but while there are so many scholarships that you can qualify for, there are only but so many persons that get picked. And if you utilize the opportunity that is right here in front of you, and even MR has made MR is one of the persons who was lucky to go to college and come out, and the college actually owe him money rather than him owing the college money. which is not by luck, is by design based on how he did his thing. Because he went to college, then he went on the work and travel program, ensure that when he went on the work and travel program, he worked and actually come back to pay his bills rather than floss out the money.
So I understand what you're saying, because my thing was that, okay, like, even though I got scholarships, I did SAT before I even started UE. So I would be responsible for myself slowly. It's not no parents, no whatever. It's me. I look at scholarship or wherever it's supposed to come from. I was just like, okay, so the biotech at UE, that's like 300 grand per year, and look at bus fare, lunch money. But I must stay in Jamaica, because if I go abroad, I'm going to need someone to live, I'm going to need this, I'm going to need that, because as I say, it's me by myself slowly. So it's not necessarily college alone, I thought. So I was in that mindset where I said, it makes sense to just get my first degree here and transition. But it's not like, I'm telling you, it's not worth it, because like when you really get into the depths of it and say, all right, afterwards I can probably find a university that is willing to accept my credits, and I head up. So not only that is that I've qualified for multiple scholarships to go abroad, but there's situations that happen at UE personally that I would recommend anybody to go there. Like anybody, like not my sister, not nobody. I'm not going to recommend anybody to take out themselves and go to UE at any point, because it doesn't make sense in the long run. So it's a quantity over quality. Like, you said it's cheaper, but it's cheaper in what sense? Like, it's cheaper in what degree? Because if you're supposed to look at it over a long-term period, I don't think it's even cheaper. Like, it's really not. If I look over it as a long period of time, in the sense that, what I'm saying to you is that after I pay this cheaper money now, it's like saying pound wise but penny foolish. Like, right now it's cheaper, but how does it affect me in the long run?
I disagree with that. If you're looking at the long-term plan to get your master's or doctorate, and
it doesn't make sense. There's not a lot of universities that I can go with my biotech degree, because I'm still going to be required to spend money and redo courses.
But you wouldn't spend as much money.
I'm still spending money. Why not just do it from the go? Like, I'm still required to spend this bag of money anyways.
All right. So if you're gonna go to a college in the US, it's gonna cost you $40,000, right?
No, my college is gonna cost me 20 grand.
All right, 20 grand. Let's say 20,000, right? And that's overall 20,000 overall. All right. All right. Let's say we spend.
Calculate more stuff.
Let's say
if I get scholarship, then it's looking like. Most my scholarship would have cover most stuff. I'd probably just need to live somewhere and eat food. That's it.
Yeah, but living somewhere and eating food, that's a very big thing, because it's not like Jamaica, where you can.
There are other factors to consider. Jamaica's a very traumatic place. Like, it's very traumatic. Although different places have their own challenges, Jamaica's a very traumatic place. Like, soldier keep them pregnant lady. As a woman in Jamaica,
Yeah,
I'm not Canada. When I see soldier keep them pregnant.
Yes, that's a topic of its own. But
no, I'm saying Jamaica is traumatic in so many senses. Right, like, it might be worth it. I don't see how it's worth it. Like, that's what I'm not seeing.
So you're saying that soldier kicked down pregnant lady, right? So one, JDF soldiers are not taught law. So they actually, and two, people irritate the soldiers that are not taught law.
But to kick down a pregnant lady.
It is not justified for him to kick down a pregnant lady, but also
it's not justified for a pregnant lady to be impeding the man from doing his job.
I understand, I am understand. My issues are the kicking down, and the rest of the society is okay with it.
You know that legally you're not supposed to. You're not supposed to.
I didn't see this pregnant lady touch him. I see her cuss and just escalate. I didn't see her touch him.
She actually pushed him.
Where? Can you show me that video? Can you send it to me on WhatsApp, please? Because I want to see where she pushed him. Because I've been asking people, where did she touch him?
Because you're not supposed to touch I think the police.
I didn't see her touch him. Like
They're
that's
not
I
supposed.
don't see her touch him, so I cannot argue from the point to say she touched him. But we're straying from the point. I'm saying
Uh,
Jamaica is a traumatic place to live
Ye- but
anyway. So I
but
would
but
advise anybody to go to college in Jamaica, and it's not
but
worth it at any
but
point.
America is even more traumatic. They're killing black people,
Yeah, them kill black people in
and it was a
Jamaica and
light
kick down
skin.
pregnant lady. They both kill
Even
black people
even
and kick down pregnant ladies in
even
Jamaica.
if you're even if
Let's
you're
not go down that path.
Hold on. Let me
even if
get
you're even if
They both
you're
kill black people in Jamaica every day. Police, soldier, bad man kill black
So,
people in Jamaica
so
every day and
let me
kick down pregnant lady.
So
let me just say
I've
this.
experienced both. I've experienced a degree in Jamaica and a postgraduate certificate in Canada. And I'll give my Jamaican degree even though I don't like it. Right? I don't like school any at all, but I just did the certificate for other reasons. And I'll give the Jamaican degree a A plus anytime over the Canadian one. But
Why?
I think
Why?
because the things that I learned in my degree is like I walk in the park for the certificate and it's a post grad,
Mm-hmm.
right?
But for
we
experience,
should be
that's
harder.
not just one factor to consider when you're going to college. Not just money, and that's
No,
not the end.
no,
So
we
Yeah,
just
the
but if you're looking at
experience.
we are
if you're
talking
looking at
about degree
knowledge,
on a whole, just
but if you
degree.
look, yeah, and if
We're
you're
not
looking at
talking about.
knowledge,
Mhm.
what MR, what you're saying is that you get more from the Jamaican degree than what you think should have been a bigger international degree that may have been a little bit more, should have been a little bit more challenging. Is
Exactly. So it's like I
And
didn't
are
learn
you
anything
and
new.
your Jamaican degree? It is what is making you being able to propel in your field. Just a Jamaican degree, and I mean practically too. So whatever you
What
learn from your Jamaican degree, is that adding value to your profession?
what makes me propel is the certificates.
but the certificate didn't make
No,
him
is
any.
are the
But the cert,
certificate
No.
Jamaican,
but
Canadian?
the certificate didn't make him any more educated. Well, I make him much more educated. So
Right.
you see, in a sense, it's only a piece of paper to say I went to Harvard, for example. Nothing against Harvard,
Exactly.
but what
Exactly.
is what you learn in high school. So Harvard don't really have nothing to do with it. You know. Harvard only have the name, but the high school knowledge really carry forward. Because that, like I
Right.
said, my sister-in-law, she's in her second year of college because of what she knew. They actually wanted her to be exempt from first year completely based on some tests that she did when she just
And,
reached.
and the thing
Because,
is,
because even she reached second year, she still had the high school stuff. That don't make no sense. How
and
can you learn something in high school in Jamaica that you're doing
Because
in
it's two
college?
different educational systems. It's
Uh,
two different systems. It's not
which
judged on the
goes
same
yeah,
basis.
which goes to show that you get a degree in Jamaica versus a degree in the US. They have some things technology while better, but it does not necessarily make them a smarter person. It's just the
I
name.
don't think they're smarter, and I don't care about being smart because you have very educated people that practically cannot do nothing. Like it's not even about being smart.
I
So
think
what do they do in their job? Because most people go to college so they can get a proper job. That's why most people go to college. Doctors
I
go to college for the same reason.
I
They
think
want to
your
get a job with pay money.
I think your problem with the Jamaican degree is just my opinion. I might not be right. Is that it's not necessarily internationally accepted.
That's not the reason. I just think the entire experience and Jamaica itself. So when I'm done my degree, I'm gonna sit in a call center. So
No,
I
but
may have to
I
fight. Me have to fight tooth and nail. Feel like try thrive and
so
survive.
I'm
Especially if I'm a person. Especially if I'm a person who doing it on my own. I have to fight
But,
to, just to
so
survive. Me not gonna thrive. Me just to survive. Just be able
but
to
there,
pay my bills
so
comfortable after my done degree.
but there
so
are persons in the US and across the world.
hold on, Alex. So I'm gonna take it from the Jamaican degree perspective and the call center
Mm-hmm.
thing. So like when I was in my final year, right? The first thing I
Mm-hmm.
said that I am not going to be working at a call center. I am not going to be accepting a job that is paying less than 100K. And I set my standards right there and then. What I went ahead and did also was go and learn things that wasn't taught in my degree. So when I show up on an interview, I was already prepared more than my other graduates. So I already set myself apart. So other individuals can do the same thing.
Exactly, but all right, compared to the youth, because most people, at the end of the day, most people go college so them can find, a proper job, so them can live a good enough quality of life. For the same exact jobs that you're doing in Jamaica, and even jobs that are above the jobs you're doing in the don't let the US. So let's say Canada. Let's say that even for call centers, in Canada, you're able to see your way. Like, you're probably not thrive and live your best life, but you can see your way and live comfortably enough. You cannot live comfortably enough.
But you can work at a call center in Jamaica and live comfortably enough. Martin can attest to that.
Fuck up your sorry. That's when you mess up your mental health. That's when your mental health is trash. You basically don't sleep. That those are the reasons. Like, we spoke about that.
Honestly, I don't agree with that entirely, because Martin, for as long as I have known, well, not as long as I have known him, for the better part of the last few years, Martin has been working at
a call center, because most people, the average
Martin has been working at a call center, and I think Martin has worked at almost every level from I know him to
the
now.
average employee at a call center, is an agent. I'm saying for the same exact job. I'm not talking about we're measuring it on the same scales.
Yeah, but you can't measure it on the same scale, because
yes, you can both measure it as an agent. You can both measure it as an agent.
If you're going to measure it like that, you're going to have to start measuring things like rent, which is like $50. You have to start measuring light bill, which is more expensive. You have to start measuring.
Yeah, but you still can see your way through. You still can see your way through.
It's still a paycheck to paycheck thing.
Yes, it is. However, you're still able to live a better quality of life. You still can live a better quality of life. Like when I do my degree here, and when me done, SRC not gonna pay me no money now. When me done, SRC I give me way less than 100 grand when me done my degree now. And me 100 grand in Jamaica, like, yeah, it's still expensive both places, but I'm saying, like, overall, it's better to be overall in all senses. It's just better to do a degree abroad. I won't tell anybody to do a degree here. Like, I would not tell anybody.
Well, I see. From your, I think, in my opinion, I think you should be a little bit more objective and get all the facts, because if you're gonna look at cost of how much you earn versus how you actually live, a lot of persons in the US are still living paycheck to paycheck, even though they're in what is called a good job. So even though you get a higher pay raise, the housing situations killer, the traveling situations killer, the other bills that you have to pay and taxes.
But do they feel very traumatized? Do they feel like there is no way out? Do they feel there is no way to really level up? Do they feel like that?
Yes, they
do.
When I say my little sister said, "Oh, she want go UA," I'ma tell her, said, "Don't go." I said, "Don't." Like, me can more than ever get scholarship, because I have full scholarship. Like, I had full scholarship to UA. Scholarship and not forget, right? So I know she can get scholarship that cover expenses and bus fare. I know that she'd be good. When I ask Christ, she'd be fine, because scholarship is how I got through high schools. Scholarship is how I get through life. Like, they really help me, right? And I tell her, don't go. Like, no, do it not take up yourself and waste your time and go.
I think that you are dampening. My personal view again, I think that you are dampening her future.
No,
unless you can guarantee her that, listen, this is the amount of money you're gonna make if you don't go to college, or what you're going to college for don't make sense. I would say,
especially not.
Okay.
That's not make sense.
Okay. What would she want to go to college for?
I'm trying to sit down on the business for you. What?
You want to run the business?
So long as do business for her. She have an online business. So she long as she want to go to college because she can go to college and she's told to go to college. Not because it makes sense.
Oh no, I don't know. I mean, in that case, she can go and she can do some certificates. She don't need to go to college for that specifically. But
if it is, she can work on her business and she can left.
But if it is that you say that, listen, she intend to go to college overall, like go to college whether in Jamaica or overseas, I would say
she go overseas.
I would say honestly the overseas thing only have a name to it, and to add to the real thought process and the value. If you value education any at all, I don't think that the overseas colleges, based on what I have heard and people I've talked to, that I don't hold them to that high value as the rest of the world hold them, because
it's not education, it's a piece of paper. Like nobody in reality cares about education like that.
Yeah, and even though the Jamaican institutions may be crap, we might have some horrible situations and stuff. Right now, I know for a fact that they actually give you something that if it is used, if you ever get to apply it, you'll actually realize that you learn something if you get to apply it. Not if you earn it and don't get a job and something and don't get a job, because across the world there are persons, and if you look at the US statistics, Summer, you need to actually, before you start saying that, you know what, I want to get this US thing. If you look at the statistics in the US, it is even lower than
it is even, I don't like the US, by the way.
Sorry. I look at the US stats a lot, but across the world,
I don't care about the US. I actually don't like them.
Across the world, right? There are loads of persons who have gone to college and come work minimum wage job. Of course, a lot of those countries have a better way of living because the government implements better things to help the people. But we should do that, because if you have the mentality that you have, and say, you know what, me now come work at Jamaica, then you are doing the brain drain thing. So you get the knowledge and you're gone foreign, you're not coming back to make Jamaica a better place. So
why would I do that? Why would I do that under the government under which Jamaica operate? Why would I ever do that? Am I right, man? As a person who loves myself.
All right. All right. So you see that thought process.
No, why? I'm asking you why. Under why? Let's say, why would I do that? Given how Jamaica is, given how the government is, why would I do that?
So if all of us in this chat here right now, that's on this live here, right? Decide that we're gonna go overseas, get ourselves educated, and use that knowledge to better Jamaica, and each of us help.
You're going to struggle to do it.
Each of us help 2 persons at least, and those 2 persons go in return and help 2 persons of their own.
You see, my thought process used to be like that. This used to be my thought process where I'm like, oh, I want to make Jamaica a better place. I want to see the science. I'm mainly a scientist. So I want to see the science sector develop. I want to see big things happening in SRC. I've given so many different ideas.
For Jamaica die?
I'm sorry?
Where did your patriotism for Jamaica die?
When I realized that the government doesn't give a flying... The government, this system, SRC for example, so as I'm telling you, I wanted to make sure that, I'm helping. I want to put in the work and get what I need to get so that I can work at SRC, because it's science. It's science, Scientific Research Council of Jamaica, and I'm interested in science, as I say. So when I realized they don't have proper systems and nobody's trying to make it better, nobody is there, everybody's going there to sit down and do their work. Ministry of Science, Education, whatever they are, favor, yeah. They're not here. They don't care. So how could I be a citizen? No, we're being logical here.
One question for you, right?
And want to help Jamaica if those in power who can make the changes don't want to help Jamaica.
So Summer, I have a question for you, right? The question is, when you leave let's say you
Now come
leave
back.
them.
If we get a, if we get, alright. If
Hold on now,
everything work
hold on
out,
now.
I'm going tomorrow. Me not come back.
All right, hold on, right? And I want to answer this question. Because you just answer the question, but I want to ask the question just the same.
Alright, Daley, let me let you
Listen,
understand. If I was a student in Ukraine and they say if you stay in Ukraine, you're going to die. You need to leave Ukraine and come back to Jamaica. I'd stay in Ukraine and die.
all
Do
right,
you
so
understand that? Do you
all right,
understand that? Like, I
I,
prefer to stay in another country and die than come back to Jamaica.
all right. So listen this, right? And this is a question. So if you all right, fine, you want to live in another country, you don't like Jamaica, but if you decide that you know what, I am going to help to ensure that go to the proper channels to fund the SRC, so that someone to help to fund the SRC, so that someone who has your mind person that listen, love the
Doesn't
science from
that
Jamaica.
appropriate the
Hold on,
funds?
hold on. If you and I said I noticed I said the right channels, but I just said just give them or just flaunt it.
So they should
Hold on,
appropriate
no,
the funds.
hold on. Go through the right channels to ensure that you help to fund some of these things, because a lot of these things are short and fall back because of funding. So I know this for a
It's
fact.
not. It's not because of funding. It's not because of funding.
No, no,
It's
all
not
right,
only because of funding. By the
all
way,
right.
they
No,
just
no,
don't
no,
care. Like I'm
no.
telling you, if you go up
All right.
there, if you go up there, they
Yeah,
have a budget where they have all of these, and they just don't care. Like I'm not even
um.
like.
All
It's
right.
very disappointing.
You said that if you leave with your degree, you won't get a certain amount of money and go and work there, right? Yeah, that is a funding problem. If the
I'm
funds
sorry.
were, you said that if you had gotten a degree from UEA or wherever, you probably wouldn't get a certain salary if you go there to work, and that is
Go
a
to SRC.
yeah. I'm
I'm trying to tell you that it's not a. It's not that the money is not present. I'm trying to tell you that they're using it
yeah,
for other things and they don't care. Like it's not
okay.
like ministry. It's not like Ministry of Education and Science and Sports and whatever the ministry is called. Whatever work, it's not like the funds are not there. They just don't care.
All right. So for someone who has worked in an institution like that, I'm not privy to say certain things because it's not things that I
So you worked
should.
at SRC and you understand.
No, not
Oh,
SRC, but I've worked in. I have
Ministry
worked.
of Science.
No, listen, no,
Whatever. Oh.
listen. I worked in the government field, and I know persons that have done certain types of have covered certain financial aspects of of certain things. There are certain things that I am not privy to talk about because a lot of that information is confidential and it's not my business to talk. However, if an institution, say for example, has $1 billion, not because they have $1 billion in their budget, you'll have 500 million for R&D, 200 million for for upkeep of the place, 50 million for
We're not
just
arguing
in
the same
case.
thing.
No,
I'm
no, hold on,
trying to tell
no,
you
no, hold on, no,
they're
hold on,
budgeted for
no,
these projects. These projects
hold
I'm
on,
telling you
no.
about, they're budgeted. It's
Hold
not like,
on.
oh, them fling money, give them. They have projects that they're budgeted that they should do that they do not do. That's what I'm trying to tell you. They don't care.
I,
It's not like it's not the same
some,
thing. We're not
but
arguing the same thing right here. They get a
what,
budget and there are projects that
so,
they can do that they can give to whoever's so alright. For SRC, they get money to do specific things. So, they get a budget to work on this, work on that. A project, let's say that, the BK competition that they have, the robotics competition, whatever it is, they just don't care. It is there, the money is there. I'm trying to tell you it's not an issue of funding. It is
okay,
not.
Another,
so,
another thing we are missing in terms of the whole degree is that there are a lot of persons earning minimum wage, right? And if they had a degree, they would probably make $100,000. Wouldn't that be a better quality of life for that person? At least they have an option now. Yeah, $100,000 is a little bit, but it's better than minimum wage.
I can
MR,
agree with that.
but
I
MR,
can agree with that.
what I'm trying to say to someone is that even, all right, so even as a business owner, let me start like from a business owner
I
perspective.
know how budget works, like I'm saying, there's
Yeah, man.
specific parts of the budget that they
but
give to
but
them to do
but
projects.
yeah,
They
but
don't care.
that might not be allocated to salary.
No,
Like,
I'm saying there's specific parts of the budget that they give to do project. Like it is not the entire it is not the entire thing. Like if you do a budget, say alright, you're gonna need expenses and all of that. There's specific parts that are given to science project to make Jamaica better, science projects or whatever, and they don't care. It's not an issue of funding. The money's there. That's what I'm
uh,
saying. That's not the arguable point. The money's there.
yeah, well, you see, for one, I am not in this institution, and the only thing I would recommend that you're saying something,
Not is to leave Jamaica and not come back and contribute to brain drain to better myself as a person. And Jamaica can do what they want. Nobody should go to college in Jamaica. That's my point, and that's my personal view. And I would advise my enemy to go to college in Jamaica.
Well, I personally, I disagree with you. I disagree with you personally, but that is your opinion. Because it cannot be better if you don't do better. So
But I have no desire in my heart anymore to make Jamaica or college or whatever better. I have no desire. Jamaica wants to rock the ground. Jamaica wants to burn tomorrow. I need to just make sure I'm not here. I'm not patriotic to what? And they have no patriotic to themselves. The people in power who can change don't change. There's a fighting an uphill and a losing battle. Literally, what it is, fighting a losing battle. Like the citizens can do so much more, and yeah, the citizen can try. All of us here can decide. Oh, we're gonna try to build Jamaica and nation building. Cause we want great for Jamaica. We can do so much, and those in power will just shut us down every single time.
I don't exactly believe that.
I
The
100% believe
problem,
that.
yeah, I know for a fact that a lot of things that don't happen is red tape, and because a lot of persons don't follow their guidelines, because even if a police beat you to a pulp, and you're wrong and the police wrong, because of how a lot of persons go about it, or the approach that people take towards a lot of things when they're approaching the government or they're approaching certain situations, they still end up in the wrong, because you can have your right, and based on how you approach the situation, because you did not approach the situation professionally, you end up getting the wrong. And I honestly, you're saying a lot of things that as a Jamaican person who loves Jamaica endlessly.
I could never love Jamaica. Jamaica, the island, the place, the physical, the breeze, the water, the sunshine. That part of Jamaica, I love endlessly. The leaders, and I'm neither JLP nor PMP. Jamaica don't make sense. Like on a managerial level, like to manage the country, the people who are in power, it that makes sense. And I would watch Jamaica crash and burn. I could have like all the resources to help Jamaica or help make Jamaica better, but I'd also understand that Jamaica doesn't want to be better. The people in power doesn't want Jamaica to be better.
I disagree with you.
They don't want the schools to be better. They don't. Like, I'm telling you personally, like, from what I've tried and people I've spoken to, Fairval don't want Jamaica to be better personally. Like, you don't want the schools to be better.
I agree that things are slow, but slow, but I wish it was only slow.
I wish it was that it was just only slow.
Alright, how many Jamaicans, right now, and I want you to tell me, let's say there are 100 Jamaicans total. How many of those Jamaicans do you think apply for the right permits when they need to do something? Hold on. How many Jamaicans out of 100 business owners, how many Jamaicans do you think actually file their taxes and pay their taxes? Order,
And
order,
I'll ask you another question before I answer.
mm-hmm.
Why do you think these people do what they do? Why do you think these people don't follow the laws? Why do you think these people don't pay taxes? Because where are my taxes going? Because I don't know where my taxes are going. Like when I pay tax, where do they go? Because I can't see Jamaica being better in any way. Where do the taxes go?
Well, if you don't think Jamaica is being bettered,
But where is
you
the
are
taxes
you are not
going?
you
Like,
are
I
you are
mean,
not
we pay.
you are
Why do we pay taxes as a country?
you
Why
are
do we
not
pay
looking.
taxes?
Okay, so if you look at the overall economics, and
Uh-huh.
I think you need to focus a little bit more on that. And
What's on paper, not what's reality, just on
no,
paper.
no,
No.
what is reality? Because all right, so for example, right, my brother is a police officer. And I can tell you that there are some things that are being implemented in JCF that you don't hear about. I am sure
And
that
it's
is being
not just a
implemented.
bag of talk for years
That
that have been a bag
I
of
am
talk and
listen. Look
they're in
here. I
action.
listen. Until I spoke with him, I didn't know that police do DNA ballistics when them come a crime scene, take picture and do actual investigation. And this is I'm hear this directly from my brother who is in that specific field. So, and I have other friends who are in that. First thing, in my plaza, there was a robbery. And when me see police come in a white suit with flashy camera and take picture on ground, I was like, yo, this happened in Jamaica? All the CSI me same thing here, you know. So,
I know that happens
no,
in
no,
Jamaica. Like
no,
I live
no, no,
outside,
no.
so people ever this.
Yeah, man. But no, but I'm saying, darling, that when you realize that they're implementing stuff like ballistic testing for test the gunshot, for test DNA testing from
That
crime
has been
scene.
happening. Like it's
Yeah,
not implemented.
but no,
It
but
has been happening.
yes, but that has just happened in recent years slowly. But Jamaicans don't realize that that costs a whole lot of money, you know, to implement, plus training, plus more training, plus more
Alright,
implementation,
so the
plus
money that
plus.
Rural read, the money that for just the education sector, the money
Okay.
that Rural read disappear with, and he might get paid off much money. Don't you think that could have been contributed towards the education sector to help? Don't you think? No, I'm asking you.
All right. So you're pointing out. So you're pointing out one person's
There's another person
uh,
from the education. There's a female from the education ministry who
but
also appropriate funds.
hold on now. Remember, in every government across the world, and this is not limited to Jamaica. Every government across the world there is corruption. So this is not limited to Jamaica, you know.
But it's
I
still not
don't.
right. Not because other countries have
No,
corruption, meaning
I am
it's
not. No, no.
justified that Jamaica do
But
it.
I am not saying that they should. I am just saying that if you're going
Yes,
to
it happens. I accept that it happens.
if you're going to say that Jamaica is evil, right?
I did not add no
No,
points to
no.
Jamaica. I said it
All
don't make
right.
sense.
If it's
It
a
don't make
Jamaica,
sense.
don't make sense. If it's a Jamaica, don't make sense. I don't see where it makes sense that the guy that killed George Floyd,
I
that
don't think that makes
sentence,
sense.
what I know, he killed him in cold blood, and there is no appealing the judgment when you clearly have him on tape, and white people are killing black people.
I don't think that makes sense either. But I'm not going to use it as a scale to justify
no,
what
no.
Jamaica do.
But I am saying that. All right. So even for example, if you actually look at my YouTube channel, you realize I point out they are pointing out some flaws with the link app. But I spoke with the link team directly. I ensured I spoke with them directly to ensure that I heard what the problems are, along with the problems that I see people writing on the channel. I said to them, what's happening with this? And we had a discussion before I did the video, right? And I see people coming and say, oh, this could never be PayPal, or this could never be Apple Pay. But persons fail to realize that Facebook crashed for one whole day, which crashed WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook. Google has crashed before. PayPal has crashed before. See the other day,
But
Aeropostale.
it's still not a
No,
metric or a scale to
no,
judge it,
no,
because if there's
no,
problems that should be addressed, I can, all right, Daily, we
but,
can't say, because all right, I can't say I should hit somebody just because you hit somebody else. Wrong is wrong.
no,
Like,
no, I am not
I'm not
saying
gonna
it.
justify it.
I am not saying it is right, but I am saying that we're all human, and the things that we look at that is in front of us, we don't see it on an international basis because we're not looking for it.
And
But
I'm
when you
still not
actually
going to
go to,
Because
accept
they
it.
don't
I'm
show
still
it.
not going to
they
accept the
don't
same
show it.
treatment if I go to a different
That,
country. That's what I'm trying
Me
to
not
say to
so
you.
so
ready for
so
pass with
so
the
so
bad
when you
news there.
so for example, when you say you want to go to Ukraine, when you go to
I don't
Ukraine,
want. I'm saying,
uh,
what I say to you is that the degree at which I'm not going to accept. I say I will. So it's just an example. I'm not saying I'm going to do this. I'm saying, if and it's a hypothetical situation, if I was a student in Ukraine and they said to me, you have to come back to Jamaica because there's a war and you're going to die, I would stay in that war and I will die. I would freely just die. Why? Because I'm going to come back to Jamaica and I'm definitely going to suffer. Let's just get over with it already, because I mean, I'm coming back here to suffer, so why not just stay there and die?
Have you ever heard this phrase or statement yet? The success of a nation is dependent on the financial success of each individual. Have you ever heard that before?
I have, but how are the finances of each individual in Jamaica?
oh gosh, summer. I don't think you're focusing on the bigger picture.
I mean,
And that
I'm
that that
saying, how
that,
are the
all right,
finances? It says the
all
success
right,
of a nation. So how
all
are the
right.
finances of the
If
individuals in Jamaica?
okay, if you
The
and your
80%.
hold on, if you let's just take you and your sisters for example, right? If your
Mm-hmm.
entire family, if you change the financial status of your entire family,
Mm-hmm.
you have
Whichever.
made you have
Whichever.
made you have made a significant change in the country. If I change the
Is it worth
financial,
it though?
if I
Is it
change,
worth it?
yes, because change
How
doesn't happen. Oh,
how is it? Alright, you know all that you're going to be required to do to like decide to live in the laws and all the confines of Jamaica. You know all that you're going to be required to do, like just even to get access, just to be able to live comfortably. You know all that's just required to do that. I don't think it's worth it at all.
I
I
don't.
really can go to Sweden. Like I really can go to Sweden. I really can go to. No, I can like evaluate other nations, and I really can go, and it still would be better than Jamaica, and it still would be better than Jamaica.
I
Like instead of
highly.
me trying to stay here to build up this thing where it's an uphill losing battle with
You,
the politicians and the people. Like the politicians are supposed to be there in order to make, they're
you know
elected, they're workers of
you
the
know
people to make the country better. But we treat them as if they're not employees, they're employees of the nation.
do
We
you
treat
know
them
that
as if they can just do anything.
do you know that you can kind of live in Jamaica without having an income, but you can't do that abroad, like US and Canada?
How? Who live in Jamaica without an income or any type of source of income? Who?
I know people who live without, like I say, corporate job, right? They are not employed
Like
to the system.
even if they're not employed in the system, them get money from foreign. That's a one. Or two, they get
No.
money
All
from
right.
other people. So
Let me
who live without an
let
income?
me cite one specific example.
Go ahead.
I have this man a friend in country, St. Catherine, way up in the bush in the hills. This man take him time, build him one bedroom, bathroom, kitchen and all of that. All him do, sell him banana now and then. Not a big scale thing. See, sell him a thing them now and then, right? Now, put him in a foreign country, he would not be able to do what he did in Jamaica. I mean, overseas, what he did in Jamaica, that's impossible.
I don't necessarily agree, but I can see your point. Like I understand what you're trying to get at.
Summer. I think though.
One
I
thing I
think
can
though.
say is that separation is in every country. So whether you want to leave Jamaica and go
100% agree.
somewhere else, it is there.
Yeah, they
But
have
you
their
have to
own challenges.
understand.
I'm not going to pretend like other countries don't have any challenges and it's perfect. This is not what I'm trying
Yes.
to do here.
Yes, what I'm saying is Jamaica is a very good country. You see me I say? You can't really
broad brush things and say, oh, there is no improvement or no developments or anything like that. You have
Can you
something
tell
in
me the
Jamaica,
improvements? Because personally, I can't.
or
Personally, I don't
I'm
see any
showing you.
improvement. Actually, it got
Alright,
worse since I've grown up. So
alright.
tell me.
Look at Jamaica Eye. Jamaica Eye, you notice everywhere you drive around in Jamaica now, you start seeing cameras and the stoplights and all of that. That's part of taxpayers'
I'll look the
money.
next time I go on the road. I'll look the next time I go on the road.
Trust me, that is part
Trust
of
me.
taxpayers'
I
money.
listen. I
And that
see it
helps
every
heavily in
stoplight.
fighting crime.
Because they have caught multiple persons using that, who has robbed persons over Kingston, and them use it for accidents a lot of
Even
times.
last
There's
year, remember the incident at Devon House? Police were able to
I
track
don't know what
those
incident you're talking about.
criminals. You don't remember the shootout that happened right at Devon House? Right beside
yeah man,
With the
YMCA?
yeah man,
car, with
yeah yeah
They were
yeah.
tracking those
oh yeah,
individuals
yeah.
from Old Oak Road to there. That's a part of
Okay, so that's
taxpayers'
improvement.
money.
But other countries already have that. Like other countries already have that.
But Jamaica is
Yes,
a
but
third world country coming out of debt, getting better. Now, if we drain the money from the country and drain the knowledge from the country can't get better. We're not even going to even stay steady. We're going to move backwards if all the money is being drained. So when
But
I'm
don't you
saying
think
that,
that if Jamaica tries to be better for certain, like for the citizens who are currently brain drained, like most of Jamaica is migrating right now. Like them are migrating and them now look back. Whether it's a sweet Jamaica, no place like home. There are people who are migrating
listen,
and not coming back. So don't you think for those people who are migrating and deciding not to come back, if the country decide to show them a reason to be here, they will say. Because I love Jamaica. I love the country as in the physicals, but I can't respect the management at all. So I mean, if I see any reason to stand, I'm telling you that I don't see how it is worth it. I'm not seeing how living in Jamaica is worth it.
and you don't see how you as an individual contributing to the wealth of the country.
No,
There's a reason.
I
All right,
don't. I
right,
don't
yeah,
see.
all right. Do you know that? If you go to the US right now and you win the lotto, they will not allow you to leave the country.
That's fine. But I wouldn't go to the US. But that's
But
fine.
no. But I'm telling you, there's a reason for this. Countries don't allow persons like, all right. For example, Elon Musk cannot hire a Jamaican to work for SpaceX. Certain companies cannot allow if you are not an American citizen, which means you're going to contribute to their system. You cannot get a job in certain things. You know why? Because that helps with the future development of the country. You're looking at
Yeah, like Jamaica, like not anybody can become a JDF soldier in Jamaica. Like you're not anybody. Like you can't just bring.
No, we're not talking. We're not talking. We're not talking. We're not talking at JDF. We're not talking at JDF. So
I'm saying it's still a job.
remember,
I'm saying it's still a job. So understand that.
SpaceX is a private company, and you have a private company that the government says you cannot employ persons that are not contributing to the U.S. tax system.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, darling. If you keep your money here in Jamaica, why you don't? If you study,
politicians are going to appropriate the taxes and put it in their pocket.
Oh God.
Are you denying that this doesn't happen?
Mr. Moderator, can I say something, please?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the conversation has gone so far. I don't even know where to go. But you know something? In a sense, I kind of agree with what Summer I said. I agree to an extent. There's a lot more that can be done in Jamaica. There is a lot more that can be done. However, where I disagree, I hear her mention Southside multiple times. I actually went to school in Southside. She's supposed to know.
I live in Southside.
Yeah, I hear you mention it. Yeah,
I live downtown.
You're supposed to know Holy Family Primary School. That's where I used to go.
I went to St. Aloysius.
All right, that was my primary school. I live in London now, and I work for a big company in the city of London. And where I do disagree, though, is Jamaica hasn't improved. Because I've seen improvement now. I travel to Jamaica at least every 2 years. right?
Can you
And-
explicitly tell me the improvements? Not on
Okay,
like
I can.
Yeah.
Give me a second. Sorry, I don't mean to take over your space, speaker, but I'm just trying to show, in Jamaica, one specific
And this
example.
is what I want. I want people to show me and tell me, come in,
I'm coming. All right. So, crime rate, they touched Jamaica high. When I was going to Holy Family School, I remember there used to be shootout all the time. Even the police forces used to shoot, man, and just... I don't know if you all remember the incident that happened maybe around about 2007. There was a big shootout in town. Whole heap of people died. Bigger Ford was one of the police officers that was in charge at the time, and he used to say, "Oh, I'm the strictest police officer in Jamaica. Me shoot bad boy," and all of those things. In this day now, today, that can't happen because they are held accountable. And that's one improvement I thank God for that Jamaica see.
Yep, in the comments investigating.
I can agree with that because
Police
growing up,
are
I can
held to
agree with
account.
that.
Yeah,
I know the soldier kicking down the lady, kicking down the pregnant woman being held
and he
account.
will be held account for that.
I want to see that because everybody
It will
justified.
be. It will be. No, it's not justified. No party
No,
in that
people are
situation
in the
was right.
comment section saying he should have shot her dead. Her unborn baby. People are saying that in the comments.
I can't speak for them. I can only speak for me because I'm only responsible for what I say.
And it shows you the mentality. It shows you the mentality. Like, people are saying he should have shot her dead. Him lucky. People are saying that you're lucky him never shoot her. That's what people are saying.
Wrong. And that's wrong.
I'm saying, and that's my problem. It is not okay to say, for that situation, it's not okay to say, oh, in the US, soldiers do this and do that. No, it's still wrong.
I didn't say it's right. I didn't say it's right, no. But what we also need to do as a people,
I am not going to find a way to justify it ever.
But we also need to learn as a people to respect law enforcement.
Of course.
Because Jamaicans
that question. Jamaica do not respect law enforcement right across the board.
Law enforcement
See there?
because they don't respect me.
But
personally,
no, you cannot say that. You cannot say that.
No, but
you cannot say that.
They don't respect me. You know what?
No, you can't say that.
They will come in on my yard and kick out my door. When we live uptown, they don't do that. I personally don't respect them.
That is not someone. That is not true. That is not true.
No.
May I get to you too? And I saw the ghetto run. I saw the ghetto run for you.
You can't tell me my experience is not true. They're coming my yard and kick off my door without a warrant. And when you ask for a warrant, them licking at your face. Where you tell me say?
But what I'm saying is that can't happen so much nowadays. Because
it still happens. No, it happened last week. My cousin did kick out my cousin door, drag out, and when we're saying, cause my cousin did get here, I'm saying, wait, me and say, where him do, what happened? And up to now, he has yet to he's yet to show us a search warrant. Up to now, he's yet to tell us what happened because we're literally saying what happened. We're not trying to attack or protect anybody. We're asking what happened.
But
you
see, you're saying this is justified. You're saying this is okay for the police.
No, it's not.
We're not saying it's okay.
Okay, but
it is not understandable either.
Mr. Speaker, I don't want to disrespect your space, yeah, but
that's good. That's good.
I can give you an example. I mean, I don't want to hog up the mic too much because there are other people here to speak. I can give you an example of what she's talking about. I'm sure all of you remember the Tivoli Garden incursion. I have people living in Tivoli Garden. One of my cousin them, the police them drag him and lock him up in jail. The thing though, off the back of that, right? Luckily, they never kill him. Him got out, thank God.
Luckily, you see the mentality. Luckily, he didn't kill him. It's not okay to speak like this. Luckily, you're not killed by people.
What I'm saying is it does happen. The police force use brutal authority. They do. I agree with that. At the same time, what I'm saying is, if we as citizens know our rights and know exactly, I agree. But if we as citizens know our rights and the channels to go down to hold these men in account, it will stop. It's accountable.
But right there, she gave away her right in the video. In the video, she gave away her right by attacking the officer.
I haven't seen that pregnant woman hit that man all now. I don't
but we can't. We can't speak of that individual situation because we don't know what happened or what was said. We don't
or what
know
happened before exactly. But I'm telling you, we can't even hold him accountable because citizens say you're lucky him never shoot you. You're lucky him never kill you. And how can you not
So one of the things, Summer, that it's because luckily I have persons that's in law enforcement and I know a little bit of the law. So luckily I know this. When a police come to me and or if a police behaves aggressive to me, no matter how them behave aggressive, I just behave as calm as possible and I talk to them and give them a piece of the law make it no sense to them. I know the law. So if you decide to say you have a box me, hold on, Summer, hold on. If the police can come and kick down your door, right? Kick down your door, do whatever they want to do, drag somebody out. If you follow the law, even though it might take a little time, I agree the system, the court system and the legal system slow and messed up in Jamaica, but if you follow the legalities of it to claim your compensation,
you get justice.
You can get compensation.
No, I agree.
After you're dead and buried?
But Summer.
After you're dead and buried.
After you're dead. Up to now,
the
I have a situation from I was 9 years old. I have a situation from where I was 9 years old that we went through the court system, and up to now, it is yet to be anything is yet to be done. They have investigating officers. I've gone to court. I've gone to counseling. I've gone to mediation. I'm still waiting on this situation from I was 9 years old.
No, but there are some organizations out there.
When will this ever be resolved? When I'm dead and buried?
There are some organizations out there that can help, like Jamaicans for Justice. There are.
When I'm dead, that's what I'm saying. We justify this. The mentality to say, I'm lucky he didn't shoot. I'm lucky the cops didn't shoot me. I'm lucky the soldier didn't shoot me. Oh my God, I'm still alive. I should be happy after the soldiers abused me.
But it's not just
put myself in the position, right? If I'm a policeman, I'm there, I come to you and I just come to my work. If you are put my life in risk,
you're doing it brutally. I'm not. You see the police who do their work in the manner in which they should. I'm okay with that. I have nothing against police who are doing the job that they should do. I have nothing against them. The one them will come brutally and do them job and kick them door and do evil. Not and say, ma'am, this is when I'm uptown, when I'm at my aunt's house uptown, them come on the door and them knock and them say good night. My name is Officer this. My name is Corporal this. We are here because, and we say good night. We treat them like human beings, just as they try to treat us like human beings.
So do you believe? All right, Summer, do you believe that there are persons, and I'm not going to just talk about where you are specifically, that in Jamaica, do you believe that a lot of persons in what we call quote-unquote ghettos shield criminals?
But we're not. That's not what we're debating.
I'm not saying you are. I'm not saying
somewhere else. Yes, it happens. I'm not going to pretend like it doesn't happen. Of course, it happens. But the justification of police brutality is not okay with me.
I'm not justifying it.
I'm not justifying it. Right to treat citizens like that. And how can I want to live in a country where citizens are saying it's okay for police to kick them?
I'm not justifying it, Summer. But I'm saying that. No, Summer.
We're not justifying it. We're saying there are proper channels. There is right and wrong, Summer. There are ways in which you go about something. You can't have your right and lead way.
No.
Listen, I can say the female, personally, I can say the female had no right to talk to him like that and flirt with him in face. I can say that. But to justify it and say, oh, she lucky she never get shot. What kind of economy is this?
But Summer. So look at this, right? Look at this, right? If like that's on video. If he had cheated her, all right, let's say he hit her without her hitting him. She can get caught. All right. Hold on now. You can get compensation. She can get compensation for that if she go through the right channels, Now,
after how long, Daley? After how long?
Trust me.
The system is in place.
Yes, it matters how long, because let's say for a situation that happened to me, I had accident and decided to kill myself. I'm saying the situation that happened to me, it matters how long.
What happens now? Listen, you see what happens in these situations? You see, when the government
That
realized that,
woman can decide that, you know what, I'm not protected by Jamaica, and the soldiers that should be protecting me are kicking me down
listen,
and kick
Well,
them
on
back.
there.
I can decide that in
hold
my
on
but
now,
if you get to
listen,
and kill
Summer,
herself,
Summer, you're
if you
Summer.
talking
get to
from a
and kill herself,
you're
you know,
talking
have the
from a
most to say.
personal point of view. Hold on. You're
I'm
talking
saying if
from
that pregnant woman decides to say, oh, you know what, the soldier kicked me down, and me pregnant, and me she probably have a miscarriage. When you see how you
Yeah,
stamping her belly,
listen,
and
and
you're
if she,
okay with
listen,
that,
and if she has
hold
a
on.
and if she has a miscarriage and sues JD,
nothing is going to
well, I know
happen.
that
You
Nothing is
what
cannot
going to
say that.
you
happen.
can't say
Can't
that.
say that because you
Listen,
don't know for
Nothing is
listen.
going to happen if she
you
have a miscarriage.
Look
Me, I
here.
play
you
some more
can't
things
Listen,
use
there.
listen. If a lawyer looks at that and takes that to court,
mm-hmm.
they can win. And when they win that money, JDF will ensure that even if the soldier does not lose his job and he gets just penalized during with whatever JDF law, they will ensure that they put measures in place that never happens again. Do you think that any government across the world wants to pay out money, especially when these things are on social media? Listen, when you are going to provoke, you cannot provoke a situation, especially with law enforcement, and don't expect a reaction. If you
Yes,
Well,
provoke,
the
I
reaction
agree.
is
I agree.
justified.
So,
Now, in
so
situation right,
ensure.
she's not
hold
the
on.
reaction. I
Hold
already
on
I am
there.
said.
not saying he should have kicked her, no. But I am
Him
saying
kick
that
her, him lick
I am
her
saying
wound,
that
Yeah,
and
but
I'm
I
yet
am
to see this
hold
lady
on.
put her hand on him. I'm yet to see this lady
Hold
You
on.
touch
don't
this
see that
soldier.
part of
Hold
it,
on,
that
Summer.
don't mean
Hold
it never
on.
happened before. What
I'm
Exactly.
yet
let
in
Hold
let
that
on.
let
video,
let
in that
happen.
specific video,
Hold
even
on.
she was
You
standing
argue.
close to him. She was standing up to him. I
Hold
saw her
on.
stand up to him, and I didn't see her touch him.
Summer, here what I say now. Here what I say. You argue from a personal point of
It's
view.
not even
You have
personal. Is
to
it okay?
no.
Wait, if you and Daley's a soldier, you're the citizen, you're up talking to Daley. So it would have been okay for Daley just stamp you down, kick you. It would have been
No,
okay
but
with
hold
you. That
on
would
now.
have been fine.
No,
You'd
of
have
course it
accepted
wouldn't.
that.
No, of course it wouldn't be fine. But if he did that, there's proper channels we can go through to address such a situation. You
And how
can't
many of these
use,
situations are addressed? What are the
but you
channels?
can't,
Like, what are the
but
channels?
but you can't use your personal situation to say you've been waiting for so long. You know, you have to argue these things from an objective point of view. You can't really say, oh,
Alright, let's
this.
be objective. What are the
And,
proper channels? And for these cases, how many of them
Summer,
are being through the proper channels?
what's your view on this, right? I'm just gonna
The
ask your
the
view.
the soldier will kick down the lady. You know, I'll be an average Jamaican and say she lucky she never get shot.
Just a general view. A police shoot a man downtown, demonstration. A gunman shoot a man downtown, nothing.
What you want to know? Wait, you live downtown because I live downtown, and when man at them cuss, them behave bad because their sides against each other. They're not. When you say wait, when you say the girl them protect the bad man them, my community south side, them up them not them. If a bad man this, we open at them face just like we open at the police face. Come on, no, not talk about like you don't live in these communities, but you guys can say the most and say
all
they
right.
deserve to die.
So Summer, I
But
have
there
been
are situations where they protect the bad man. I'm not going to pretend like they don't. But
I have
there are
lived in those
people.
communities,
Summer, I
so
have
There are
lived in
people who
those
are up in the
communities.
bad man face. Where they
Summer,
have gun,
Summer,
just like how the police have
I
gun and them
can
up in
tell,
the police
I
face. The
can
bad man
tell
them have
you,
gun and them up in them face too.
I have lived,
Regardless.
I have lived in these communities, right? So don't,
as a valley.
so I can tell you for a fact that when a man shoot a man, you don't hear nothing. And 9 night are the only black road will happen. When a
But
police
it's
shoot a,
still not justified.
hold
It's not
on,
okay. It's not
hold on.
okay.
When police shoot a bad man, me see people who know say the man a bad man and come out and say Jesus, he never kill nobody yet. And
No,
I
I'm not okay with that.
personally,
I'm not one
no,
of those
no,
people that
no.
going to see him get shot dead and say, "Oh, I'm innocent." He must shoot people in for dead too.
You
Full
are
stop.
not. You are not that person. But
My
there are
sisters are that person. There
many,
are many
many.
people in the community
But there are
say
many
police for kill them
persons.
off.
There are
But it's
many,
not
many.
my issue.
Can
Is
I?
not police killing bad man, and
Can
that's not the
I?
point we're arguing from. I'm
Can
okay
I?
if police kill bad man. Personally, if police and bad man want kill off each other, make them do that. But when they're gonna
First,
treat the citizen, when they're gonna treat the citizens as if they don't have rights and they're not human beings, I cannot never be okay with that. And the fact that Jamaicans are justifying this and say, "She lucky she never live." How can one live in Jamaica as a
no, hold
citizen?
on,
If me pregnant, if I'm supposed to put myself in that situation as a woman, I'm going to see these comments and I'm going to say, no, better I'm just kill myself or better I'm just not there.
But
Like
Summer,
No,
logically, as
you
a
should not
woman.
be. You should not have you. Even so, keep your distance. If you're gonna voice your opinion,
Those
nobody gonna voice.
of them out of anniversary right now. So the those of them out of anniversary.
But if
Every
you,
pass my pass, them the palm. Every pass and say you know and say
Yeah, well, you're supposed
Every
see,
pass my
you're
pass,
supposed to report
right
that. No. Hold on. You're supposed to no. Hold on. You as a young girl are supposed to pass on them a call to you like that. You're supposed to report that. So have you reported?
I even recorded it and sent to my boyfriend. I'm telling you, this is how they operate, and people justify it.
Yeah, but the question is, have you reported it?
Reported it where
You're not supposed to report it to them sergeant. You're reporting to them sergeant.
And the
yeah, but you said, but you just said, but you said you said you recorded it, right? You said you recorded it.
My boyfriend.
Did your boyfriend is not enforcement, is not law. He can't do anything.
This is why we.
I know that if I go to that police station before I reach down on my yard, my family
Alright. So Summer.
I understand what you're saying, but you see, it's people like you is why you're saying that the situation can't improve. Because you have things like that and you sit on it.
I'm
you
trying
have to
to
stand
tell
up
you
and
that
make a
if
difference.
I go to that
Summer.
police station, because I've been talking about it, if I go to that police station and I report that before I reach down, I don't
Alright. So just that,
it's not.
Just that's all.
This is the community pastor. Why people don't report crime?
Report it to a social worker.
But Summer, you said that you recorded it. And I am saying that since you recorded it, why not say, all right, let's use this. Since everything on social media now, look, this is how JDF soldier or police officer. Why don't you make this? Listen, but make this information public. Not down the link. Record from the beginning. Not just the part that benefits you, record from the beginning to say, listen, this is the whole situation what happened, and listen, somebody from Indicom or whichever thing, they will investigate.
Yeah, you can even report it anonymously. You don't have to go there personally.
Make it public. As a matter of fact, if I get certain things and somebody send it to me, I think of something. I won't post it on my Get Paid Daily channel because the channel focus on certain things. But I will repost it. I have a personal page that me post anything fun. And if me think say, yo, this wrong, may I repost it. Because
and for the record, me personally think it wrong. I don't think you're supposed to walk in down the street servicemen are called here. It's disgusting. It's wrong. And it should be called out. And that's why our young girls cannot walk through society in peace because of disgusting men like that. I think you should report it. I don't think you should sit on it.
No, I think she should report it as well, But at the end of the day,
I'm not going to report it because I've been raped multiple times. I've been abused, and there's nothing that came out of it. I've been dragged to
post it anonymously. Report
I've
it
been
anonymously.
traumatized by the entire system continuously, and nothing happened. Nothing happened with CDA. Nothing happened with Sisoka. I'm trying to tell you, nothing happens. After them bring up 2-3 mediation, them bring a court, and them answer the same question repeatedly. Them ask you the same question in 100 different ways. Nothing happens. I am now 22. Whatever happened to me and happened again. They did nothing. Even when I reported, even when I got Sisoka, even when I told them that, okay, this man is threatening to rape me, the Sisoka tell me point blank, I'm not raping yet, so we can't do nothing. Because they have to get raped before they can intervene, and yeah, I cannot live in a country like this.
But it's not just Jamaica. Silver can attest to this, that this is not just Jamaica. This is something that
Jamaica because
so anywhere across the world you can't really accost somebody.
It doesn't happen across the world. I'm saying differently.
Okay. The police or law enforcement can't.
In the US, I know many situations in the US that girls I have a friend that was raped in the US and it get dealt with properly.
Can I say something?
She did the report. She did exactly what I did, and she was dealt with in a proper manner.
Last year, a policeman here in London. In case I don't know if you don't know, you might know. Police in the UK, they don't carry weapons, they don't carry guns.
Yeah, man, I know
The
that.
citizens here, even here, them withdraw them consent because them feel like the police here are using excessive force on the citizens. And this is England. This is the UK. So it happened all over the world. Anyway, last year, one of the policemen in a uniform, having police vehicle, pulled up a young girl, carry her to somewhere, go rape her and kill her. And you know what the police tried to do? They tried to cover it up. They even protest against the situation. The women, the female protest. Police angered them badly. So it happened all over the world. And that case went on for a long time before it got resolved. Yes, it did get resolved. So it's a wider question. And Mr. Speaker, I think some have a point. Our point is she's
It's still not okay in the London, by the way. It's still not okay in the US. The fact that it happens in the UK.
No, we're not saying it's okay, no.
I'm not saying it's okay, but I'm saying it's happening everywhere. But where we have to understand someone's point is she's arguing from a personal experience point of view, where she experienced the system and she lost faith in the system. So we have to
if
be
my little sisters was supposed to come to me and say, hey, this person raped me, I'm gonna say, my darling, I love you, but guess what? We can't report this because it doesn't make sense.
No, but you can't. Summer, do you remember? Do you remember earlier when I said, Summer? Do you remember earlier?
No, you can't do that.
You can't do that, Summer.
You can't do that. I know people went through similar situation. That's it, they're in Jamaica.
Not helping society. You're not helping society.
I'm telling you how Jamaica's system stay. Me know what's your name? Charmaine Chan. She's the head of Sissoka. Sissoka is Jamaica's rape unit. She's the head of Sissoka, and based on the conversation I've had, they have no desire to improve these things in Jamaica. They have no desire. They have no.
Summer.
Based on conversations I've had with Charmaine Chan, I know that Sissoka has no desire to improve these things in Jamaica. And if my little sister get raped, we're gonna find other ways to deal with it.
Okay, Summer.
Go to the law so they can drag her to the court, so they can tell her that she's lying, so they can constantly badger her. And even when she has evidence, even when she did the rape kit, they will still badger her. And you know what's gonna happen at the end of the day? Her rapist is going to walk free on the roads of Jamaica. And rapists tell you all the time, do this enough time, I'm gonna get catch. Them tell me that's not my face. Do this enough time, and all them go bring me a station and question me. That's all they say.
I pray God your sister don't get raped, okay?
I pray to God she does it. I pray for that all the time. I pray that my nieces, I pray that my nephews.
No, but you cannot sit on these things. You're not helping society.
Because what happens when I use the proper channels? What happens when I use them?
You're not a part of the solution when you think like that.
But what happens when I use the proper channels? What happens?
You have to go stand out and make the difference. If you want to see a difference,
let me tell you what happened. Let me tell you what happened when I made it public on social media. When I made everything, all the screenshots and everything public on social media, Sissoka called me and told me that this rapist who claimed he never raped me is going to lock me up for defamation of character, and I should remove those posts. That's what CTOP did. And then somebody, I kept blowing it up, and then somebody from
lawyer counterclaim? What was your lawyer counterclaim? Your lawyer, what was their counterclaim?
What lawyer? I'm a kid. What lawyer? I'm a kid. What lawyer? There's no lawyer.
Then you were failed by the system then.
Anyway, so I eventually deleted them because
there are public liars, you know. Yeah, are public liars that's in the system.
The only lawyer I've had is a CDA. This is a different situation that happened to me, and I'm telling you, I said, okay, this time, you know what? Well, I go up on social media. I want to post up everything. CTOC say I have to delete everything. CTOC, they're, Central de Silva. So Central, and then over the other side is CTOC. They deal with cybercrimes investigation and whatever. And they say, they called me like 6 times that day to come down to the office, and when I got there, they said, the rape. And when I said, and I'm saying, this man raped me, and they're like, we're not deal with that. You have to go Sissoka. Like, they just say, we're not deal with that. That's not our business. And then I go to Sissoka. What did Sissoka do? They drag me back and forth. Them know where the man live. Them have him contact. Them ask him a few questions, and I'm yet, like, when I talk to Charmaine Chan, and I just like, you know what, I would waste my time to go through all of this, but then I know
Sister,
the end result at the end of the day.
It's a lawyer you need. It's a lawyer.
No, man, she does need a lawyer, because What
But
she's
what's the
saying.
point of why does Sissoko exist then? Because
Because
the name Sissoko
so you can
says.
prosecute.
So
You can
so
prosecute and
The
have
name
charges.
Sissoko says, give me a second to what Sissoko means, because what's the purpose of them if they're not doing what they're supposed to do? Center for Investigating Sexual Offenses and Child Abuse. That's what Sissoko means. So if they're not doing what they're supposed to do, then what's the purpose of it all? Like, what? Why would I live in
It's
Jamaica?
not working. Another solution is being proposed to you now.
But what's the
so
purpose of them? Is
Precisely.
it just a facade? Is it
I
a facade?
no Summer, but they say across the world, not just Jamaica,
So
everything. So sometimes
hello.
it takes it's yes, but sometimes it takes a little bit longer for you to actually get the justice that
All
you
right.
deserve.
And the trauma is
Um,
not worth it. The
and
trauma that you have to go through during all of that
uh,
period is not worth it.
also
Um.
also um we are way over time. I think maybe we need to continue this discussion next week. We can use this as next week's topic because we have strayed so far from the point
True.
of whether you need a college whether college is important in Jamaica or
It
not.
is not. It is not. It's
Um,
not worth
uh,
it.
it is, but that's my
I think it
view.
is.
I do not think it is. I don't think
I
living in
can back
Jamaica
that
is
up with
worth it.
evidence. I can back that up with evidence.
Okay,
Evidence
so
speak for
Silva is
themselves.
it Silva lives in the UK and he can back it up with evidence. MR has done college in Jamaica and in Canada, and but Summer, you probably need to kind of re-evaluate what you're saying because there are two persons
It's
who have
not worth
experience.
it.
Well,
It's not
Same
worth it.
here.
It will never
yeah,
be worth it for me personally. It will never be worth it in Jamaica. Nothing living in
Um.
Jamaica, going to college, working, nothing in Jamaica will ever be worth it for me. Ever.
Summer. Summer. Just to add to
But
what you were
But Uno
saying.
can be worth it, and I
Hold
have no
on.
problem with that. But personally, it will never be worth it for me.
So, alright, we do understand you're speaking from a hurt point of view. We understand. We understand.
A very
But
valid hurt. It's not just hurt. It's valid. Let's be valid.
I,
Let's just not
I,
pretend it's not. It's invalid.
I
Yeah.
do understand, but you can't give up on the system because
What
based
you
on statistics, what? No, I'm stating something. Hear me, Asena. Based on statistics that have been done, from 2011 to 2020, there has been over 6,000 cases. I think 6,573 cases, and out of that, 3,254 has been cleared, and proper justice has been given. That
cases
is
of
more than
what?
50
And do you
rape
know that during the
cases.
pandemic? Do you know that during the pandemic, the number of underage children who got pregnant by whoever they got pregnant by, and a lot of the rapists are walking free because just the pandemic happened, and a lot of them were more at home. There are many underage
Yes,
girls don't reach 18 yet. The what is it? It climbed 35%. It's climbed
I
35% since
know.
a 2-year period. And
So
the
what I'm
rapists are
saying is
walking
that
free. There were
what I'm
15
saying is
girls.
that
Out of the 15 girls that were in that batch of girls that needed mediation or whatever they needed. Sure, them rapists actually get prosecuted and others walk free. 2 of them kill themselves. Yeah. So you're telling me it's okay for a system to have 15 girls per se, and you're telling me three rapists actually got convicted and is in jail, and they have substantial evidence for this case.
Probably because the others gave up. Them said, "What's the point? The system is failing me." And I understand why they would do that. Don't get me wrong, because the legal system all around the world, it's
it's all around
created
the world. It's
to
not only in
drag out.
Jamaica.
Yeah.
Still
You
not
have
justified. It is
systems over
still
the
not
world where you have
okay.
underage
You
marriages
keep
and all of
using
that.
you
You
keep using
can't
the
just
word
broad brush
justify.
Jamaica
Who's
alone,
Because
summer.
justifying
if
it?
I
Who's
experience the same thing
justifying
in
it?
London, if I experience the same thing in England, I would be reacting the same way. It is not
But
justified
who's justifying
wherever
it?
in the world it is. If it was
Somehow, what
London,
I
if
was
it was
just saying
I'm
to you
not
is
Sweden,
that
justifying it.
if it
And
was
I haven't heard
Sweden, it
anyone
is
else.
still not okay. If it's Sweden, if it's London, if it's US, if it's Canada, it's still not okay. And
But
if it's
who's
Jamaica,
saying it's okay? Who's saying it's okay? Who?
that's what I'm saying. So when we're comparing to say, oh, this happens in London or this happens in Sweden or this
No,
happens
because
elsewhere,
But
it's
because
not
nobody
you're
here is
okay.
saying it's okay.
because you're writing up. We're not saying it's okay, but you're writing out Jamaica
Because I've
to make it seem as
experienced
if that
Jamaica, and
Jamaican.
if
But it's not
okay.
a Jamaican thing. It's not
Yes, and
unique
Summer,
it
as
to
I
happened
It's a
was
in
global
Summer.
Jamaica,
problem.
It is not unique to Jamaica.
well,
It's
it
something that
happened to
It's a
happened.
me in
global
Jamaica, so
problem.
I
It
cannot
is.
speak of what happens in London because it never happened to me in London, and if it did, this is exactly how I would have speak. It doesn't matter
So
where it happened, it's not
so
Alright,
you
so
okay.
okay?
Summer, I
So
do understand what you're saying, Summer, but out of the 6,573 cases that were registered, 3,254 of them got justice. That is more than half of it. And that is it's still ongoing, Summer. So you can't give up on the country. That is more than 50% of cases being
If
solved
I'm not
as it
mistaken,
pertains
that's
to
even
rape.
more. That's even more than in the stats in London as well. So
You
Jamaica
understand
have
what I'm
something
saying?
good going on there.
Overseas, you have many people overseas, women, children who are subject to underage marriage and all of that. Those are cases that are being fought around the world. Every country has their issues, but you can't just get up and write off something. I understand you're speaking from a hurt perspective, Summer, but you cannot give up on the system and expect that the system will stand up for you. Honestly, you can't give up
Yeah,
on the
I
system.
I
When you
agree.
never
I agree
fully exalt
The
all of the
system,
realms, you never fully go
exhaust,
through
I
all
did that,
cases.
sir. What
Summer,
you mean exhaust
summer.
everything? I did
Have
that.
so have you tried Jamaicans for Justice or UNICEF or any of those other
And what would have
organizations?
happened? What would have happened if I went through all these channels and
But
never did
those
see
are.
second cape? No, what would
Have
have
you
happened if
tried
I went
them?
through all these channels and never
Because
did see
you're.
second cape and gave all my time and
But
dedication
you're.
instead of trying to focus on me? What would
But
have happened if I
you're.
did that?
I get
What would
that.
have happened if I did that? Because
But
what's the
your
point of having
attacker.
Sissoko? No,
Your
what's the point
attacker
of
is walking
attackers
free.
with an S?
Sorry,
S
with an S. I
attackers.
do apologize. That's horrible. I
Yeah,
do sympathize
attackers.
with you.
So what would have happened
So,
if I decided not to move on with my life and do my exams and continue? Because I could have just remained a victim to the system. I could have just said, you know what? Oh, I'm gonna go through with all of this and follow all the legal protocols. And oh, this company didn't help or this organization didn't help. Oh, let me jump to this one. This one is not helping either. Let me jump to the other one. This one, and that's what would have happened. I
you
would have
know
jumped to
why?
different organization. But you
You
know
know
what?
why
I
you
still
should
have a life,
pursue it?
and I'm
Well,
not
I
going to
know.
subject my
You
life to
know
this
why you should
situation.
pursue it? Let me give you one reason why you should pursue it. Because do it for the sisters.
Do it for the what? Do it for
The
the what?
sisters. You
Listen.
got
The point
sisters. Do
at
it for the
where I
sisters.
am,
Or do it for my
rape is
sisters then.
legal. Rape is legal in Jamaica.
No,
Full
you
stop.
can't say that. I
They need
disagree
to
with it.
change
No,
the
no, no.
laws.
I
It
disagree
is.
with
It
that. No,
is.
no, no,
It
no, no, no.
is. It
I
is.
disagree with that. No, no,
The
no, no,
laws
no.
are made
I
for the rapists.
strongly
No, I
disagree with that. I
don't.
cannot
It's
disagree with
fake
that anymore.
outrage.
No, no, no. You can't say that.
It's fake outrage
You
because
can't
they
say that.
don't want to hold people accountable. When the law don't do what the law is supposed to do and make excuses for the law, I would say, oh, try this other place. We don't try to say, okay, the laws need to fix what they need to fix to ensure that this happens. We don't just make it work.
Try
No,
UNICEF.
Summer. All right. So as we close, I understand what you're saying. I want to thank you guys so much for being here. We are well over time. We're supposed to be like for an hour from 8 to 9, and it's now after 10, almost 10:30. Look like we're almost, if we continue, we'll brush to 11. But I want to thank you guys so much for being a part of this. Summer, you have my contact. We can talk. I mean,
Bottom points just remain the same. That's it.
a lot of. So, but let me just say this before I close, right? See, a lot of what you have experienced is unfair, and I won't say it is fair. A lot of what you have experienced is unfair. But I also believe that you did not get the proper help to go to the right channels that would have better served you, and because of this you are, I think you're scarred to a certain level, and that influences the decisions you make about not being patriotic to Jamaica. But as someone who has friends from across the world, I've never traveled, but I have friends from across the world. I interact with people who come here and we have discussions. And I like the fact that Silver and that this is Dena. If sorry if I'm pronouncing the name wrong, but Denny can give their views. Kemar is a dentist in training. MR has done work both in the US, in Canada, and in Jamaica in terms of school pointing. And most of us here I've had experience with. If we don't have it directly, we have it indirectly. And to be honest, I'm not making excuses. I'm not putting myself in. I can't put myself in your shoes because as a man, I can never know what it feels like, and I have a daughter, so I would never, ever, ever, ever wish for a situation like that to be on her. But there are channels that you can take. And as I said, I have family, multiple persons in my family that's in law enforcement. But I have a brother who I'm really close to, so I know some of the procedures. And sometimes, you see, when you act with in the heat of emotion, sometimes it affects how you react to a situation rather than going through the proper channels. And then you just say, you know what, me done.
I actually was told what to do, you know. It's not like I was told what to do each time.
Yeah.
I was told this is what you should do. These are the person you should go to, and they failed me, and I should trust Jamaica.
Yeah. So as we go along, Summer. I mean, listen. I don't think that if you give up right now, if you give up right
I've
now,
given up already. Like this has been years, and there yet I've given up. I've given up. That's the end. Hence I'm leaving. That's it. I'm leaving. There's no more nothing for Jamaica. When I leave this year, that's the end.
But I just say I would hate for you to go overseas and experience any form of injustice, because honestly I think that is going to cause you to go over the edge. But I want to just thank you guys again for joining. So let's make this a topic for next week. I will personally try to reach out to Sissoko to see if we can have them on or have someone on. Whether or not they come on, but we'll talk about, we'll see if we can have somebody who can come and help us to officer, somebody, a high ranking officer, somebody who can come and talk to us about the justice system, how we go about reporting certain things, what if we don't get justice at first glance, what would the next, if we can get a lawyer on or somebody who can give us some insight as to some of these things. I'm going to try my best to have that. So for next week, we can continue the conversation. Hope we can start early and end early. Thank you guys so much. I'll be reposting this on on my second YouTube channel, which is the Daily News Show. I'll retweet it here, so if you missed from any part or you want to go back over anything, it's here. This has been Let's Talk About It. See you guys next week.